Hello everybody, just a quick little update to show you what I've been doing with all the strawberries that I've been picking and that we haven't been able to eat or freeze or give away or sell or all of the things above. So I've been making some jam, and as you can see there are 12 jars of strawberry jam on this side, and my neighbours kindly gave me 2 large punnets of gooseberries, so I made some gooseberry jam as well. So that's what we've been doing, and now we've got our strawberry jam stocks for the year. So see you again soon. Hello everybody, and thank you so much for watching. I'm constantly amazed at how many people watch my videos and subscribe to my videos and comment on my videos. I absolutely love it. I love chatting to you all, and it feels it makes my journey worthwhile. So yes, today I'm finally getting around to de-stoning and planting up bed number 2. I know I said I was going to do that a little while ago already. If you are getting wind noise, I am incredibly sorry about that, but it is blowing a gale up here today, so I'm trying to shield the microphone from it a little bit. So as you can see in bed number 2, I have been pottering a bit. So over there I planted out the mini pop sweet corns, just because they were starting to go. They were looking a little bit sad in their trays, and they were starting to die, I suppose, and go red, and they just weren't getting what they needed anymore. And they were supposed to go in bed 3, but to be honest, I've given up on bed 1 and 3 for this year. I'll tell you more about that later. So I put them at the top end of bed 2 here. At the far end you'll see I've put 4 of the cucumbers in. So I think the plan for now is the cucumbers are going to go in a straight line all the way down, and then the tomatoes are going to go in this bit here. Now the other thing that's absolutely desperate is the courgettes. They are suffering, and they were supposed to go in bed 3. So a friend of mine the other day said, well, you're not going to get round to doing bed 3 because it's now too dry and the ground is too hard. Why don't you just stick some tyres on top of it? The tyres you were going to use on the other side, which you're probably also not going to get round to doing this year now. So why don't you just stick the tyres down, fill them up, plant your courgettes in there, and then at least they're planted and they're in. So that is exactly what I'm going to be doing today. So I have just de-stoned this bit on my hands and knees for an hour. As you can see, loads of stones still in there, but if you look at my trug, that is the 3rd one, sort of half full, that I've emptied out of this little area here. So yeah, a friend of mine says she reckons it rains stones up here. So de-stoned it a little bit. I'm going to put some compost in here, and then get the tomatoes in. So I'll give you an update again as soon as I've made a little bit of progress. So 4 wheelbarrows of compost later, and it's all spread on the top. You'll see I didn't do the last little strip where the cucumbers are going to go, just because I haven't de-stoned that bit. So that'll be a quick little job later. I'm just going to concentrate on getting the tomatoes in, and I'll tell you what they were when I'm done. So this is how far I got, and then I ran out of canes. So I like to plant my canes at the same time as planting the tomatoes. So I have phoned Adam and asked him to go and get me some more 6-foot canes. So I've stopped for the minute in this bed. So let me quickly show you what I've done. So I've done 6, oh now I've forgotten what they are, money makers, 6 money makers. I've been really disappointed with my tomatoes this year. I originally sowed them in a seed tray, I don't know if you can remember, and they were doing brilliantly, and they were getting quite big in the seed tray. Then I wanted to transplant them into pots. And at the time I bought some of these things. I can't even remember what they're called. It's those cardboardy, recycled cardboardy pots that you're supposed to be able to plant directly. I've not been particularly happy with them, because since planting them, the tomatoes have pretty much been this size. Actually, not that size. I mean, look, that one was that size when I planted it in here, I want to say 6 to 8 weeks ago, and they've just not done anything. Now, fair enough, it could also be the compost. Well, it could be partly the compost. It was one of those B&Q or Home Base, or one of those, could even be Lidl bags of compost that was on special. So from the seedling compost they went into here in just like multi-purpose compost, and so either that or these cardboard pot things haven't really been conducive to growing properly. I mean, that's the biggest they got. After 8 weeks, I mean, you look at everybody else's and they are like 3 or 4 foot tall. So I don't think I'll be using them again this year. So what I've done when I've planted these is I've ripped, somebody said to me, oh well, maybe they're root bound, but they're not, because I ripped the bottom of these pots off and I couldn't even see any roots. So it's not that they were root bound in there. I was watering them often, so it's not like they were dry. But I'm hoping, so ripped the bottom of the pot out, planted them in the soil, lots of compost around it, as you saw earlier. Also in the bottom of the hole I dug, I put more compost in, so hopefully they'll spring away now and start growing. The other thing I did, which is something I saw or heard of either on the television or YouTube, to be honest, I watched so many videos I can't remember where I saw it, is somebody mentioned sheep's wool, and basically they said, you know, ask a farmer for the dirty bits of wool that comes off the back end of a sheep, because they when they shear the sheep they don't keep those bits, and most farmers are glad to get rid of it. So I asked a friend of mine whose dad is a sheep farmer, and she said she's not aware her dad throws that away. But then the next time she went up to visit, just by walking in the field, you know, all these bits of wool drop off the sheep and stuff. So what she did is she brought me a bag of wool. So what I've done, and the theory behind this, is that if you put sheep's wool in the bottom of the hole, when it rains or when you water the tomato, the water goes all the way down and goes into the sheep's wool, which retains water, I think. Anyway, so it retains water, so the roots of the tomato will stay wet longer, just because it won't evaporate as much and as quickly, because the wool will retain some of it. It's also organic, so it'll rot down and more good stuff in the soil. So I have put like a clump of sheep's wool in the bottom of each hole, so let's see what that does. Might be complete rubbish, but then at least I've learned a lesson. It's not as if my tomatoes can be any worse this year. So yeah, 6 money makers here. I've left space for, I've only got 5 of, hold on, let me grab the thingy, 5 Alicantes, that's going to go in the middle, and then I've also got 6, let's see what they are, Marmande, I don't know how you say that. Anyway, so 6 of those. So 6, 5 and 6. I originally had 8 of each. Just shows you how they died in those pots. So yeah, so that's what's going to go here, and then I will arrange the cucumbers on that side. I've also got an extra couple of pepper plants that has to go somewhere, so might also go in this bed. And then if I quickly show you what I've done this side, I took the rotavator. I've got more sweet corn plants at home which are about a foot tall, which needs to go in. So I took the rotavator and just scrubbed this area. That was hard going, so I'll put some compost on here. I'm not going to bother picking up the stones or anything. This is temporary, so I'll stick the sweet corns in this area and see if they survive. I've also arranged my tyres. These are the only tyres I've got left, so I could go and get more. I think I've got more courgette plants than this. I think I've got 10 and there's only 8 tyres, but to be honest, I'm going to just plant the 8 best ones and put the other 2 on the compost. So I have gotten my wheelbarrow of manure. As you can see, lots and lots of straw in there, so I probably said 60% straw and 40% manure. So I'm going to fill up the tyres with that, and then compost and soil on top, and then I'll show you again when I'm ready to plant. A very quick update, because it is really noisy down here, mostly down to the fact that Adam is trimming down the jungle for me. I'm going to be working on the courgettes, and I apologize for the noise if you're getting that really badly. So just a quick one. I've got 8 green courgette plants and 4 yellow zucchinis or courgettes, and I've only got 8 tyres. So I have decided, no idea if it's going to work, to do 2 in the bigger tyres. 1, 2, 3, 4 big tyres. I'm going to plant 2 green courgettes and sort of plant them half on a diagonal so that they would grow out into the side a bit. So the big tyres will have 2 green ones in, and the small tyres will only have 1 yellow one in. So I'll get on and do that quickly, and I'll give you an update when that's done. So here we go. Oh, courgette plants planted. I was going to quickly try and get those extra sweet corns in, but if you have a look at that, that's on its way. So I've just told Adam to just do the necessary, make me a path down to the bottom, and if there's time before the rain comes, please just trim down around all the fruit bushes. So but there might not be time for that. So in a race against time, I'm going to quickly go and lift up all the onions, because most of them are bent over. In fact, let's just walk over there now. I'll take this with me, and let's have a quick walk. The kids have decided to go and shelter in the car. They each brought a book, so they are in the car. They said they're not waiting for that rain to fall. So these are the onions. So as you can see, they're all now bending over. So I'm just going to lift them and layer them in this tray, and I'll put them in the shed to dry. So I'll show you once I'm done. Okay, all the onions are lifted. I didn't count them because I'm rushing against the rain. So I'll sort them out tomorrow in the shed, and then I'll tell you how I got on. So I've decided to bring the onions home rather than sit in the warm shed to sort them out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort them by size, snip some of the longer leaves and things off, probably leave about 4 inches of leaves on the top, and just sort them by size, make sure there's no bruised ones or ones that might go bad, and then I'll also count them in the process. So this is the onion harvest of 2015. I've sorted them roughly by size. So over here we've got 44 from memory, sort of medium to large ones, 42 sort of small to medium, or mostly medium size I would say, a few small ones in there, 22 dinky small ones, a few where the leaves are broken off, or maybe I yanked them off when I harvested them, and a few that had gone to seed. They are rock hard, so they're probably not going to be usable, but I'll try and see if I can use them first. So my next job is to dry these for another few days and then attempt platting them. So try and see if I can create one of those onion plats that the French do so well. So watch this space, because you'll probably see that video soon. So that's all from me for this episode. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and week, and we'll see each other again soon.